The story starts with a mistranslation and a myth. In the early 90s, kids heard Ryu say, "You must defeat Sheng Long." They took it literally. They thought Sheng Long was a secret master. Magazines printed hoaxes, arcades filled with theories. People wasted quarters trying to unlock a ghost that didn't exist. Capcom watched. Then they made a promise to the audience without ever saying a word. If you want a hidden boss, we'll give you a hidden boss. Not a man behind the curtain, a demon at the threshold. That's how Akuma, Gouken, entered Super Street Fighter II Turbo. He didn't knock. He destroyed the door. If you met the conditions, he erased M. Bison's intro and took his place. No speeches, no ceremony, just a statement that felt like a slap. The real fight is here. It was the perfect answer to a global prank. Fans still say Akuma was created as an apology for the Sheng Long mess. Whether you treat it as a legend or fact, the energy is right. The audience wanted a myth. They got a myth with teeth. From the first frame, Akuma was built out of Ryu's discipline and Ken's aggression, then tuned past human. Faster fireballs, air fireballs, a teleport that felt like a threat, and the finisher that turned the screen into a confession booth. The best part? Capcom barely explained him. That silence was on purpose. It let the character breathe like a rumor, and rumors move faster than patch notes. But Akuma isn't only a response. He's the scar that shows where the style split. The root is Ansatsuken, a killing art. Gutetsu taught it to two brothers in All But Blood, Gouken and Gouki. One rejected the killing intent and tried to reshape the art. The other swallowed the poison and called it medicine. The Satsui no Hado isn't a costume. It's a choice you have to keep making. You wake up and decide to be more dangerous than yesterday. That's Akuma's vow. He takes it so seriously that even his mercy looks cruel. There's a story every fan brings up at some point. The clash with General, the old assassin is still lethal, still proud, still sharp. But he's ill. Mid-fight, it shows. Akuma reads it, stops, and refuses to finish him. Not worthy. Not today. It isn't kindness. It's an obsession. With the cleanest possible test. Across games, across years, across dimensions if he has to, Akuma looks for one thing. A worthy fight. People joke that he hacks into other franchises like a sprite looking for prey. They're not wrong. But before he broke into other worlds, he broke into other forms. Every time Capcom wants to push the needle, they add a new mask to the same face. Shin Akuma is the first proof. He's the message written in capital letters. Faster, meaner, fewer rules. Players remember the Alpha era as the moment the blade got sharpened on both edges. Some swear that the strongest Shin variant lives in Street Fighter Alpha 2 or Alpha 3. Your timeline may vary, but the feeling is the same. Shin Akuma doesn't care how ready you are. He makes the first mistake you make feel like a confession. Then there's Oni. Oni is what happens when the Satsui no Hado eats the man and leaves nothing but intention. No restraint, no anchor. It's a storm without a coastline. You don't debate Oni. You endure him. Fans obsess over Oni for good reason. He's the nightmare version of an already bad dream. And then, in Street Fighter V, came Kage. Kage is different. Kage isn't Akuma. Kage is the shadow peeled off Ryu, but he belongs in this family tree. He shows what the Satsui does when it finds a new host. He shows how this energy keeps moving through the lineage, like a whisper you hear even when you're not alone. Across many entries, players trade power for a prize. Akuma hits hard, pressures fast, and cuts through space. In return, he bleeds quicker, lower health, higher execution. The message is honest. If you want to hurt people like this, you can't be allowed to make many mistakes. That's balanced with teeth. And it's part of why the Akuma story never feels cheap. Then he starts breaking the fourth wall of the franchise. Most guests in fighting games are balloons at a parade. They float in, wave, and leave. Not Akuma. In Tekken 7, he isn't a cameo, he's a cause. He carries a debt. He threads into the Mishima saga like a needle you didn't notice until the stitch tightened. It was a wild move and it worked because the character's logic is simple. If there's a stronger opponent in another world, Akuma will find a door. He does the same in Asura's Wrath, and that appearance is legendary. The mashup is pure myth on myth. Two forces of fury speaking the same language. It even brings out Oni. If you ask 10 fans where Akuma looked best outside Street Fighter, half of them would say that Clash without blinking. And the cameos run deep. Robo Akuma in Cyberbots, an early bridge against the X-Men, a hidden final boss in Street Fighter X Mega Man, Pocket Fighter, where his bio turns into a deadpan joke about tourists, training, and leaving the island to keep hunting. These are not random stickers on a lunchbox. They're proof that Akuma is portable mythology. Drop him anywhere and he still reads as Akuma. That's rare. That's why players daydream about him showing up in Mortal Kombat or even Dragon Ball FighterZ. The fantasy writes itself. Imagine the Blackout Super as a fatality. Imagine the camera trying to keep up. Look once and you know him. That's design doing its job. The prayer beads look like a rosary for a god who doesn't forgive. The kanji on his back, 10, feels less like ink and more like a brand burned in by weather. The GI is wrecked but never sloppy. The hair flares like a warning. He is readable from the far end of a crowded arcade. That matters because Street Fighter is a silhouette game. You should know what you're dealing with at a glance. Capcom iterated without losing the core. Alpha's Akuma looks lean and coiled. Street Fighter 4 gives him granite and menace. Street Fighter 5 thickens the lines and leans into posture. Street Fighter 6 makes him feel like an avalanche. Big, weathered, dangerous without moving. The animations keep honoring the same thesis. When the raging demon lands, the screen doesn't just go dark, it confesses with you. You see the strikes as flashes, you feel the silence around them. That presentation shaped a generation of players. People got tattoos. People still say, "This is Mesatsu," in chat like it's a prayer. Props to Capcom for taking the key moves from their two main characters and turning the blend into something new. Akuma carries Ryu's spine and Ken's aggression, but he walks with his own rhythm. The rhythm is a code. Akuma is ruthless, but he has lines. He rejects shortcuts. He wants the best version of you, even if he has to force it out by pressure, by pace, by fear. That's why he keeps eyeing Ryu. He sees the potential. He'd rather drag it into the light than settle for less. That's why he clashed with Gouken and never let the past die. His honor is warped, not absent. He won't take a win from illness. He won't celebrate a kill that didn't cost him anything. He is the anti-cheese. It's twisted, but it's consistent. When players pick Akuma, they pick that fantasy. Maximum offense, maximum risk. You can bully if your hands are clean. You can't be lazy. You can't drift. If you drop execution, you explode. That bargain is addictive because it's honest. Either you're sharp or you eat the floor. The character's identity forces you to train. That's why some players say they choose Chun-Li to play nice and Shin Akuma when they want to be a problem. That's why others never drop him, even when the meta shifts. It isn't only about tiers, it's about the story you tell yourself when you pick the character. Akuma's story is simple and loud. Hunt the strongest, leave if the prey isn't worth it, return when the scent of a better fight hits the wind. By the time we reach Street Fighter 6, the storm is older. That's the point. SF6 paints Akuma as a force of nature wearing a body. The frame is heavier. The face says he's seen too many winters to count and stopped pretending to care. The moveset keeps the spine fans expect. Go Hadoken that carves space. Zanku Hadoken from the air that sets traps and weather patterns. Tatsumaki that drags you into the blender. Ashura Senku that slides through panic like a knife through fabric. And the Raging Demon, tuned for a modern pace without losing the Blackout Sermon. Day 1, lab monsters found the roots. Corner carry, Okizeme, vortex ideas, Risk-reward math that still bites you if you force it. The balance team knows the old bargain, power with a price. The conversation around placements shifts patch by patch, but the soul stays put. Akuma walks forward like a verdict. You either prove you belong in the room, or you learn why people still whisper when he loads in. And yet the new coat of paint matters. The SF6 art direction makes his presence feel dusty, hot, and real. You can almost smell the leather of the gloves, the salt of dry ocean air stuck to the guy, the smoke of a campfire he didn't light for warmth. It's the perfect modern shape for an ancient mood. The mood is why he endures. Akuma started life as a rumor about a master no one could find. Capcom turned that rumor into a door only the dedicated could open. Decades later, the ritual remains, mix the right input, walk the right path, and the demon shows up. He's a pressure valve in the narrative. When the story needs gravity, he appears. When the roster needs a test, he becomes the curve. He's proof that fighting games are folklore. Players tell and retell the same tale with tiny changes, and somewhere along the way, the tale starts to feel true. That's why cameos matter. That's why tattoos matter. That's why a one-frame blink in an old animated movie still gets called out in comment sections today. He's a signal you recognize in the corner of your eye. You see the beads and your hands move before your brain catches up. The character communicates even when he does nothing. That's design, yes, but it's also the power of a clean idea well executed for 30 years. There's another reason he lasts. He gives players permission to play honest and mean at the same time. He tells you to take space, not wait for it. He says the best defense is a prediction you'll make them respect. In return, he taxes your mistakes like a strict teacher with infinite time. That loop has raised generations of players. It taught them that offense isn't free and defense isn't passive. It taught them to fear the corner and love the edge. The loop makes better Street Fighter, and that's why Akuma is always welcome, even when everyone complains after a day of ranked. He's a crucible in character form. You jump in, you get burned, you crawl out sharper, and then eventually, you're the one other people don't want to fight after midnight. Now zoom the camera out across all the years. In 1994, Akuma took over another man's boss intro and rewrote it. In the alpha era, he multiplied into masks and dared you to handle each one. In Street Fighter 3, he kept the pressure high while the series changed its bones. In Street Fighter 4, he became a training dummy that hit back harder than you expected. In Street Fighter 5, he felt ancient and cruel, and Kage showed what happens when the Satsui flickers like a reflected flame in another man's eyes. In Street Fighter 6, he returns like weather. He doesn't need to be your main to be your lesson. He just has to be on the character select, breathing like a warning. Across that span, crossovers treated him not like a sticker, but like a plot device. Tekken didn't borrow him, it hired him to work. Asura's Wrath turned him into a hymn about rage and willpower. Even the smaller cameos show the same truth. You can move Akuma anywhere and he still reads as Akuma. That is brand power, that is folklore discipline. That is why Akuma Street Fighter history isn't a search term. It's a map people carry in their heads. The aesthetics echo the philosophy. Simple shapes, hard lines, clear silhouette, big statements. That's why the kanji lands. It isn't a mystery, it's a stamp. The prayer beads are not fashion, they're a weight. The hair, the gi, the posture, every piece says the same thing. This man lives outside comfort and brought the weather with him. Players who grew up in arcades read that language without thinking. Younger players see it and feel like they've always known it. That's a magic trick. Few characters pull it off for this long. Fewer do it while evolving so much. Street Fighter 4's Stone Cut becomes Street Fighter 6's Avalanche, and you never lose the thread. That thread is the brand. That thread is the story. Let's talk matchups for a second. Not tier lists, but feelings. Against zoners, Akuma refuses to be fenced in. teleport, air fireball angles, and presence turn space into a dare. Against Rushdown, he tests your bravery. Are you willing to challenge the gaps, or are you too scared of the demon behind the door? Against grapplers, he punishes greedy hands and then makes you guess wrong twice in a row for the round. That's why Ryu vs. Akuma never gets old. It's not just hero and shadow. It's two philosophies that used to share a roof. That's why Gouken vs. Akuma hits different. It's not just teacher and deserter. It's a family argument played in the language of broken tiles. The fights work because the story is clean. The inputs feel like words in that language. You speak. The other person answers. And when the syllables line up, someone stops breathing for a few seconds. If you've ever been the last person at the cabinet when the mall is closing, you know this feeling. The security gate rattles. The janitor kills a line of lights. The floor is a grid of footprints. You feed one more coin to chase the secret boss because you heard a friend of a friend did it yesterday. That's Akuma's home, not the windscreen, not the tier chart, the quiet after the quarter drops. He was born in that quiet. He still lives there. That's why older fans smile when they see him sitting next to a wall in an old anime scene, doing nothing at all. The man doesn't need to shout. The myth does the shouting for him. So where does that leave us in 2025? It leaves us with a character who turned a mistranslation into a career. It leaves us with a Street Fighter biopic that writes itself. Rumor becomes ritual. Ritual becomes legend. Legend keeps punching. It leaves us with a demon who keeps his promises. He said he would seek the strongest. He never stopped. He said there is a price for power. He pays it in health, in execution, in loneliness. He said he'd be there when you were ready. He's still here. Players move on. Teams dissolve. Metas flip. Akuma doesn't care. He is the test you take whenever you can't sleep and need to feel something true again. And now we close where we began. The beads click. The gi hangs heavy. The world goes dark, and the hits flash like the truth you didn't want to say out loud. When the screen comes back, you are either on your feet or you aren't. There's no speech. There never was. Just a sentence that sums up 3 decades in 4 words. This is Mesatsu. If you love this dive into Akuma Street Fighter history, from Super Street Fighter 2, Turbo to Street Fighter 4, from the Alpha Saga to Tekken's canon, from Asura's Wrath to Street Fighter 6, tell me your favorite incarnation. Shin Akuma, Oni, SF6 Akuma in all his weathered menace? Drop your answer and tell me which duel you still think about at red lights. The demon will listen, he always does. Then he'll do what he's always done. He'll keep walking until the strongest warrior steps into his path. Before you go, a quick nod to the searchers and the obsessives. If you found this by typing Akuma, Akuma Street Fighter, Akuma Street Fighter V, Akuma Story, Akuma Documentary, Street Fighter Character Documentary, Street Fighter Alpha History, Street Fighter 3, Street Fighter 4, Super Street Fighter 2 Turbo, Gouken vs. Akuma, Ryu vs. Akuma, or Street Fighter Alpha 2, you're in the right place. This character is a ritual. This video is part of the ritual. Come back anytime you need to remember why the beats sound like thunder. And if the comments get spicy, keep it respectful. The demon doesn't waste time on noise. One last thing for the road. People love to argue about canons and timelines and power levels. It's fun. It keeps the fire hot. But Akuma's truth is simpler than that. He is a promise about what fighting games can feel like when they stop pretending to be anything else. 2 players, 1 screen, no lies, no shortcuts, just a storm, and whoever's still standing when the sky clears. If that spirit ever leaves the series, it won't be because Akuma changed. It will be because we forgot what the beads were for. So don't forget, keep training, keep hunting. And if you ever hear footsteps that sound like distant thunder, turn around. He's behind you. He always is.